let's get into my top 10 of the week. We are going through my top 10 most overpaid players in the NBA. This is a pretty fun list. So without further ado, let's get into number 10. It's Allen Crabbe. Now, it's not his fault. It really isn't. Portland matched his offer sheet that he got from the Brooklyn Nets of 4 years and $75 million. The only issue is that they matched the offer sheet that Brooklyn signed him to and then still traded him to Brooklyn anyway. Now, Allen Crabbe is a nice player. He's a nice player, 13.2 points per game, 1.6 assists per game, and 4.3 rebounds per game. But he's getting paid $18.5 million. His full contract is 4 years and $75 million. He's even starting for the Nets now, and he couldn't put up over 15 points per game. $18.5 million is way too much money for Allen Crabbe. He definitely deserves to be on this list. But hey, he got an offer sheet while he's a restricted free agent. What's he going to do? Not sign it? Let's go to Tyler Johnson now at number 9. A decent player, a scrappy player, a guy who you want on coming off your bench to help you in those important minutes, kind of like a Marcus Smart kind of player. But he's also shouldn't be the 44th highest paid player in the NBA. Full contract, 4 years, $50 million. He's getting paid $19.2 million this upcoming season. This dude's getting paid $7 million more than Kemba Walker. This dude averaged 11.7 points per game last year. I like Tyler Johnson. He's a nice bench player, but Miami wildly overpaid for a guy of his services. They were really afraid to lose him. But, I mean, geez, 4 years, $50 million for Tyler Johnson, I think is an overpay, regardless of the team that he ended up on. Let's go to number 8. Oh, Kings. Why are you the way that you are? Why do you sign random veterans to terrible contracts? Why did you give George Hill 3 years, $57 million? George Hill is getting paid $20 million this upcoming season. The dude averaged 10 points per game, 2.8 assists, and 2.7 rebounds. Now, I want to point something out quickly before we continue on with this list. I don't blame the players at all for signing these contracts. We here at Chat Sports are fully in favor of every single player getting the bag. You get as much money as you possibly can. However, if you're a team, why the hell are you giving George Hill a 3-year, $57 million contract? That is a terrible decision. Not to mention the Kings gave it to him after drafting a point guard 5th overall and then trading him 4 months later. What are you doing, Kings? I have no idea. Let's go to number 7. The Kings just make me so angry. Ian Mahinmi. Now, the 2016 NBA offseason gave us 2 of the top 10 worst contracts, not just in the NBA today, but in NBA history. And Ian Mahinmi is absolutely the benefactor of that wild 2016 offseason. A 4-year, $64 million contract for a dude who last year averaged 15 minutes a game. 15 minutes a game, 4.8 points per game, 4 rebounds a game, and a half a block. $15.9 million for Ian Mahinmi this year on the Washington Wizards. One of the biggest reasons why their cap has been such a mess the past couple of years. I can't believe that they gave it to him in 2016. Good for him and good for his agent for being able to get a 4-year, $64 million deal. For honestly, when he signed it, he was a borderline bench player. What is he today? He's still a borderline bench player, getting paid $16 million a year. Let's go to number 6. I think I've said that this guy is overpaid more than any NBA analyst on the internet. Tristan Thompson. The Cavs gave him a 5-year, $82 million deal, hoping that he would actually live up to being the top 5 pick that he was when he got drafted. The only issue is he hasn't, and has actually been one of the worst starting players in the NBA over the past couple of seasons. 5.8 points per game and 6.6 rebounds last year. He was a complete non-factor in the NBA Finals again this year. They were overpaid when they gave it to him. He is still overpaid today. A 5-year, $82 million contract for Tristan Thompson is one of the reasons why the Cavs are one of the worst cap-strapped teams in the NBA. That and, of course, J.R. Smith, but hell, at least J.R. Smith can shoot some threes, and that's at least valuable in the NBA. Tristan Thompson, as of right now, the only thing that he can do is cheat on Chloe and be best friends with LeBron. That's really all he's done since he's gotten that contract. But you know what isn't overpaid? FanDuel.com. You can get $20 free with your first deposit. You deposit $5, you will get $20 free with that first deposit. Head to FanDuel.com/chatsports to get our deposit bonus today. All right, let's get into my top 5 for the most overpaid players in the NBA. Bismack Biyombo. Now, Bismack Biyombo is so overpaid that he's already been traded twice since he signed this contract. 4 years, $72 million, a contract of this season of $17 million. He played in 31 games last year. Now, you might be asking yourself, oh, maybe he was just injured in those other 50 games that he didn't play. Nope. He was just a DNP in the other 51 games that he did not play last season. He wasn't injured. He was just so bad that he could not be played on the court. He played 31 games last year. Good luck to the Hornets. I guess he's kind of Dwight Howard light in a little weird kind of way, but $17 million a year for Bismack Biyombo. That's absolutely outrageous. Let's go to number 4, a name that is constantly brought up when talking about overpaid players. It's Evan Turner. Now, when he was on the Boston Celtics, maybe was worth 4 years, $70 million. Probably not. Probably was still overpaid when he was on the Boston Celtics. But $18.6 million on the cap this year for the Portland Trail Blazers. This dude averaged 8.2 points per game, 2.2 assists, and 3 rebounds a game last year. This is typical Brad Stevens makes everyone look good syndrome. Brad Stevens made Evan Turner look amazing. Brad Stevens made Jordan Crawford look amazing for an entire season. That is why Marcus Smart was great to stay with the Celtics, because any team that was going to give him a max contract, I don't know what he was going to be like. Also, warning label slapped on any Celtics player, including Terry Rozier, who is likely to get traded over the next couple of years. Let's go to our number 3 player. It's Timofey Mozgov, another benefactor of the wild 2016 NBA offseason, and probably the worst contract ever given out to a center. Why? Because the Lakers were the team that gave it to him. The Lakers gave that deal to him and also to Luol Deng. I was going to put Luol Deng on this list. However, he got waived and stretched, and now he's on the Timberwolves on the veteran minimum. So I'm not going to hate on Luol Deng anymore, but Timofey Mozgov is getting paid $16 million this year. I don't know why the Lakers gave him $64 million when they did. I don't know why people keep trading for this guy, but hell, good for Timofey Mozgov. Get the bag, man. You do you. Let's go to number 2. Joakim Noah should just give Phil Jackson half of his $72.6 million deal, because there was no reason in the first place, no reason for Phil Jackson to give Noah that money. He was coming off the worst season of his career when the Knicks signed him to that 4-year, $72.5 million deal. The worst season of his career. Now, credit, Noah was a very good defensive player for a couple of years when he was in Chicago, including when Defensive Player of the Year one of those years. However, in the years after that, he was terrible and one of the worst centers in all of basketball. The Knicks have no idea what to do with his contract. They certainly can't trade it, and now they're thinking about stretching him with the waive provision. So one of the worst contracts given out in the past couple years. Joakim Noah should be literally kissing Phil Jackson's toes for giving him that contract. Let's go to our number 1 most overpaid player. This is just obvious, isn't it? It's Andrew Wiggins. This is maybe the worst max contract ever given out, because not only has he not lived up to it monetarily, he's also helped probably push Jimmy Butler out of Minnesota, who is a wildly better player than Andrew Wiggins. Wildly better, like to a significant margin. 4 years, $146 million for Andrew Wiggins, a guy who can't really pass, can't really defend, can't really do anything except score a little bit, but his points per game last year dropped from 22 to 17. He's shown no signs at all of developing into the superstar player that we all thought he was going to be when he was drafted first overall out of Kansas. This dude was supposed to be the next LeBron James. When he came out of high school, he was one of the most hyped prospects ever, and he has not lived up to the hype at all. He's a fine player, but he is not a $146 million player. What a massive, massive mistake from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's go back through my top 10 most overpaid players. Number 1, Andrew Wiggins. Number 2, Joakim Noah. Number 3 is Timofey Mozgov. Number 4, it is Evan Turner. Number 5, Bismack Biyombo. Number 6, Tristan Thompson. Number 7, Ian Mahinmi. Number 8, George Hill. Number 9, Tyler Johnson. And then number 10, it is Allen Crabbe. So let me know in the comments section below, who is the most overpaid player in the NBA? Honestly, guys, if you don't say Andrew Wiggins, I greatly question where your mindset is. Now, I didn't put any full starting player. I could have put Otto Porter, Blake Griffin, John Wall on this list. I didn't, simply because they're actually good. They're all-stars. They're very good players. Andrew Wiggins is none of the above. So let me know in the comment section below who you guys think is the most overpaid player in the NBA. Not to mention, don't be calling out Steven Jackson and Andrew Wiggins. That dude won a championship. Call him when you've actually been able to do something with your NBA career. But thank you guys for watching NBA Now. We will be back here live on Tuesday morning on YouTube and on Facebook. You can check back here at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for all your best NBA coverage.